Hello everybody, this is of course Nick Dutch, back on the camera again one more time, and all the rest of that jazz. I'm glad you've recently enjoyed the readings I've done from Transcendental Magic, which I have here on my desk. Alphonse Louis Constant is in many ways the person who has helped to crystallize the nature of Western occult thought, including the development of Judeo-Christian occultism, as well as spiritualism, and of course, as things moved on further forward through time, the development of the modern-day Wiccan religion. It all goes back to him, and that's one of the reasons why I think that as occultists we need to show him a lot of respect, and also his observations about the tarot, the major arcana of the tarot, and what those symbols meant. There was something which happened a long time ago. I had this conversation with this guy about various occult concepts, and my answer to him was just, why didn't you just meditate on the message of the magician card? To which he just turned around to me and says, well, what do you mean? And it suddenly came clear to me that a lot of people, if they've heard of Eliphias Levi, Alphonse Louis Constant, same geezer, okay, they hadn't necessarily paid attention to what he said, how he said it, and what he was trying to convey, and how important his writings were in the formation of a more intellectually based understanding of occultism. Remember, although he has some pretty silly ideas, suggesting that, like, if a woman meditates on the pentagram, that she will be able to control the appearance of the child that she gives birth to. This is, of course, complete fallacy and folly in every possible way. But there were other things which he said and he suggested, which has a much better bearing upon the way in which we, as occultists, understand the apparent way that spiritualism, occultism, and all the rest of that seems to operate. So when you go to a book on runecraft, you will find something in there which is connected to what Alphonse Louis Constant was saying. You go to a book on Wicca, same thing, okay? Remember, of course, that the Gardnerian style of Wicca is taken more or less carbon copy from the Golden Dawn. The Golden Dawn was more or less a Judeo-Christian spiritualism based heavily upon Kabbalah, and Kabbalah comes out of Judaism. It's Jewish mysticism, which has of course had an important impact upon the way in which Jewish people celebrate their faith as well. So essentially, you can go back further and further and further, and you eventually reach a core set of concepts to do with the existence of a higher power or higher powers, and methods of interacting with them through some kind of symbolical, ceremonial manner. This is why, if you go back to Alphonse Louis Constant, that's an important step on the journey that these various movements have been through, which has led to the point that we're at in the here and now. So essentially that's one of the reasons why I did those particular readings. And I thought that was, really important for us as a group of people who are exploring these ideas and these concepts. Of course, I'm going to have people basically saying that they disagree, but that's fine. That's up to them to have their opinion, but never mind. I just thought I would just try and remind you that basis is still there, and it's good to refer back to try and get some important opinions. Now, I did a video a long time ago called Why Eliphias Levi Was a Great Magician, and that explains that even though he did have some superstitious ideas, he also had some more in-depth ideas about criticizing the results which he got. Okay, and that helped to inform the way in which I developed my own interpretation of modern-day deism, and helped me to recognize that I was a trans-deist, basically. That's where I'm coming from. That's the ideological framework of who I am and what I'm about. Okay, so I just wanted to, remind you guys about that. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Oh, very quickly. I did actually use the Conjuration of the Four, as mentioned in Transcendental Magic, for my first ever invocation of a demon from the Lesser Key of Solomon. That demon in question was Floros, which is, of course, the demonization of Horus, and that led to a ball of heat, an invisible ball of heat that was in the same place where the circle was cast and the temple of operations and the table was placed, which stayed there for a couple of weeks. And every time I walked through it, I could feel it as I walked through that little ball of heat where I'd invoked that particular spirit. So from personal strange experience, strange things can happen with the help of some of those ceremonies. Okay, there is an importance to that stuff. I mean, you might think, I'd rather read, whatever it is, the Witch's Bible, or, whichever runecrafter or chaos magician it was. But that may be where you are now. But go back to some of the earlier stuff, the stuff which is more based upon the use of the number squares, the use of the Lesser Key of Solomon, and just see what kind of experiences you can get from that, and see how practicing with a more formulaic manner can help to inform how you understand the experiences and how they develop. Okay? And of course, I do apologize for using my phone camera again. I still have to get batteries for my wonderful flip camera. Well, actually, it's not a wonderful flip camera, it's a pretty glossy camera. But on the other hand, it does provide much better audio quality than using my phone camera. So just sit tight. It'll be a few days before I get down the shops and get some more batteries. Speak to you soon.